Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips, and welcome to episode 56 of Taylor's Detroit Sports on Spreaker, also heard on iHeartRadio. You can add me on Facebook as Taylor Phillips, like my Facebook page, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports Group. Join my Facebook group, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports Group. Like my Facebook page, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports page, and follow me on Twitter at DT2Phillips. Tigers and Lions tonight, both winners. I'll give you the scoring summary and a little bit of analysis as well. But first, the Tigers. Justin Verlander took on Jeremy Guthrie in game one in starting pitching matchup number 1 of this 3-game series. The Tigers would Justin Verlander would get the first 6 batters out. And the Tigers would strike first in the bottom of the second on a reach on a fielding error, scoring 2 runs off the bat of Andrew Romine. Victor Martinez and Nick Castellanos come on home. That made it 2-0 Tigers, but Nori Aoki ties it for the Royals with a 2-run single. Sound like a 2-run double on Detroit Sports 105.1 there, but it is a single. I actually watched the highlights on MLB Network, so that'll help me out. The Tigers would respond back immediately and not a moment too soon. Not a moment too late either. Tigers scored 6 runs on a Victor Martinez RBI single. And then back-to-back doubles by Don Kelly, Nick Castellanos, and Alex Avila. All of them provided at least one RBI. Torrey Hunter's double scored 2 runs. Drove in two runs. The Royals would get 2 runs in the 7th inning on a Billy Butler ground out and a Lorenzo Cain inside the park home run. Which was right in that very same play that Don Kelly and Torrey Hunter collided, which is a first. And then Eric Hosmer in the top of the 8th got an RBI single off of Jabba Chamberlain, who still finished the inning. Miguel Cabrera would seal it with an RBI single in the bottom half of the 8th inning, scoring Torrey Hunter. And of course, in the top of the 9th, Joe Nathan, G.I. Joe Nathan, sets him up and down. So with that win, was the 9,000th win in Tigers franchise history, after bringing Detroit within one. After the Tigers finish their season, they might want to talk with Max Scherzer first. So Verlander improves to 13-12, pitches 7 innings, 6 runs, 4 earned, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts, 4 strikeouts. Jeremy Guthrie gave up 10 hits, 8 runs, 6 earned, no walk and no strike, a walk and a strikeout in 2 2/3. And now Tim Twentyman wants to Tim Twentyman, a head beat writer for DetroitLions.com, wants to discuss the 35-14 Monday Night Football win over the New York Giants. So we'll do that right now. He writes, the Jim Caldwell era has gotten off to a good start in Detroit. The Lions offense came out of the gates firing. The defense was swarming all night, especially the secondary and the front. And the result was a dominating 35-14 victory over the New York Giants to begin their 2014 season. The offense had Ford Field rocking to begin the game with touchdowns on each of its first 2 possessions. Quarterback Matthew Stafford showed terrific pocket presence on both drives as he eluded defenders and found Calvin Johnson for touchdown catches 67 and 16 yards respectively. Stafford finished the game 22 of 32 for Stafford finished the game Stafford finished the game 22 of 32 passing for 346 yards with 2 touchdowns. He also rushed for a 5-yard score on a quarterback keeper late in the third quarter that gave the Lions a 27-7 lead at the time. They led 14-7 at halftime. The Lions' defense was equally as spectacular all night in limiting the Giants to just 14 points. They forced two turnovers. They forced 2 turnovers with interceptions by DeAndre Levy and Glover Quinn, and allowed just 197 total yards of offense by the Giants. What didn't happen was the Lions didn't get much in the way of production from their run game, but they honestly didn't need it. The Lions ran 30 times for just 76 yards, which comes out to an average of just 2.5 yards per carry. The Lions got their run game going on in a little bit of the fourth quarter. However, which helped milk the clock and preserve the win. On their final scoring drive of the game, a 12-play, 80-yard drive, the Lions rushed 8 times for 37 yards. A good run game is an offense's best friend with a big lead in the fourth quarter. It wasn't a huge weapon for the Lions for most of the night, but it was good enough to help them wrap this one up. A critical moment, leading 20-7 following a 27-yard Nate Freeze field goal. Lions safety Glover Quinn intercepted an Eli Manning pass. Lions safety Glover Quinn intercepted an Eli Manning pass intended for Victor Cruz on the first play of the Giants' possession. He returned in 18 yards down to the Giants' 16-yard line. Stafford scored from 5 plays later to extend the 27-7 lead. Extend the lead to 27-7, and essentially put it away. Critical moment number 2: Stafford orchestrated a 12-play, 80-yard drive that took nearly 7 minutes off the fourth quarter clock and helped ice the game for Detroit. And helped ice the game for Detroit. The Lions completed a 3rd and 7, 3rd and 5, and 3rd and 4 on the drive. Joyke Bell finished it off with a 3-yard touchdown. Play of the game: Stafford's 67-yard touchdown pass to Johnson was the perfect example of 2 players with great chemistry who were on the same page. Feeling some pressure, Stafford stepped up and eluded it, and then scrambled right. Johnson noticed the scramble and immediately headed down the field. The Giants lost track of him, and it turned into an easy touchdown. It's a play we've seen often from the two as they continue to build one of the best quarterback receiver relationships in the NFL. In NFL history. Player of the game: Calvin Johnson at wide receiver, of course. Megatron was very Megatron-like Monday night. He finished with 7 catches for 164 yards in another dominating performance. It marks the 13th time in his career the 8th-year pro has recorded at least 150 yards in a game. Tigers, with their win, are now 1 game behind the Royals in the American League Central Division and still a half game back of the Seattle Mariners for the second AL wildcard spot. The Tigers are getting there once again. That's what we never wanted in the first place. We want to finish first, walking away during the entire season. Next up for the Lions is a trip to Carolina and a game against the Panthers that'll take place on Sunday at 1 o'clock, and it will be on your local Fox affiliate on television. locally in Cadillac on Fox 32 WFQX. Channel 32 in Cadillac in Traverse City. Also available in HD on Channel 32 DT. There were a couple drives. There were a couple New York Giants offensive drives where the Lions committed too many penalties. At least one of them being both of them being costly. But I thought the secondary did a much better job than they have the past few years. Darius Slay got himself a couple pass blocks. Glover Quinn got a pass block and an interception. LaAdrian Waddle left the game. And there were quite a few injuries. Glover Quinn was shaken up a little, but I think he'll be fine. Issa Abdul Kudus took his spot. James Ihedebo was already ruled out, and so was Don Carey in the secondary defense. But the Lions handled the Giants well, 35-14. So that's going to wrap it up. Episode 57 comes after Game 2 of the Tigers and Royals at Comerica Park. Max Scherzer will take on Jason Vargas in the starting pitching matchup. Max Scherzer is Max Scherzer has a good record, and but he is a great record, but he's struggled as of late. He's taken on Jason Vargas. So I'll talk to you after Game 2. Taylor Phillips saying TTFN ta-ta for now.